And here is the tip of the pipe that the olive came off of. $14.8.
If you are a DIYer like me, no doubt you know how frustrating changing out a faucet can be, especially an older faucet. And we all turn to YouTube for tips or solutions for cases like this. But for some reason, all the advice on YouTube does not cover the problem you're most likely to run into that can really ruin your day. Today, I'm going to show you the plumbing problem that nobody else seems to want to talk about and the only fix for that problem. Let's get into it. For years, I've struggled with water valve replacement on a plumbing job. These valves are usually about 20 years old, and they are the gate type of valve, which are notoriously prone to failure. Whenever I do a faucet replacement, I always replace the old gate valve with new quarter turn ball valves, whether it's leaking or not. It's just good preventative maintenance. But being 20 years old, these valves are always compression fit connections. And there are plenty of videos on YouTube attesting to the problem you run into when replacing a compression fitting: how to remove the olive. I just learned this term, but the olive is the copper or brass sleeve that seals the valve against the pipe. To me, wedding ring might be a better term, but olive seems to be what everyone calls it. So first, why remove the olive? Well, for me, I've never been successful leaving the old one on when installing a new valve. If the seating depth on the new valve is not exactly the same as the old valve, it will leak. And for whatever reason, the newer quarter turn ball valves have a shorter seating depth, so the olive does not seat and you get a leak. In my experience, this is almost 100% of the time. A second reason for removing the olive is if your new valve is a shark bite or push to fit. In this case, the olive will not allow the fitting to slide on far enough to seal. So the old olive always has to be removed. YouTube videos show various ways to do this, usually grabbing the olive with a pair of pliers and working it off the pipe. But what if you can't slide the old compression nut back far enough to expose the olive? In my experience of doing dozens and dozens of valve replacements, there is never enough pipe exposed to slide the nut back to expose the olive. In this case, all of the videos on YouTube are useless and you are left with a real problem. Enter a tool that is meant to solve this problem, the compression sleeve puller. When I first saw this tool, I thought this is a perfect solution. It screws on to the old compression nut and pulls against the pipe to force the olive off regardless of how much wall clearance you have. That's great. But what if the previous plumber secured the old compression fitting so tightly that the olive has now deformed the copper pipe and it won't slide off easily? In my experience, this is the case 90% of the time. Now, when you use the sleeve puller tool, while it does remove the olive, it can wind up pulling so hard on the pipe that it reduces the diameter of the pipe significantly, as you can see in this video.
Here's a normal pipe on 16.1 millimeters. And here is the tip of the pipe that the olive came off of. $14.8.
This is a really bad situation. A reduced diameter on the pipe will not work for your brand new compression fitting, and it won't work for a shark bite fitting either.
So the O-ring is probably sealing okay, but you'll see the gripping fingers, they're much closer to the edge, the end of the fitting, and they can't grip, and it wobbles. And as soon as it does that, you don't have a good shark bite fit.
The only solution is to cut off the deformed part of the pipe and pray to the plumbing gods that you still have enough pipe left to attach the new fitting. If not, you need to solder a coupler to whatever remaining pipe you do have and then solder an extension. Why the original plumbers don't leave more pipe to work with is a mystery to me. But in my case, trimming off the end of the pipe has left me with just enough length to allow a shark bite to grab and hold. So, here's the bottom line. A compression sleeve puller is a great tool to have in your toolbox, but be aware that it may deform the end of the pipe, causing more problems. That's all I have for today, and thanks for watching.